the heart was full of concerns, so after he finished talking, Mo Yu immediately added, "Of course, if Yang Kai doesn't agree, then the old man will not say anything." "What's the problem?" Yang Kai slowly shook his head. "Since Senior Mo is the master of Miss Shen and Miss Lu Ying, the kid will naturally not refuse. Don't say just to set off from here to enter the Emperor Garden. If Senior Mo is interested, he can stay in my High Heaven sect for a while." As soon as these words came out, the two women, Shen Shidao and Lu Ying, who had been standing behind Mo Yu, both had beautiful eyes, flashing with different brilliance, looking at Yang Kai gratefully. Mo Wu also had a look of joy. He didn't expect Yang Kai to agree so easily. He was still thinking about whether to let Shen Shidao and Lu Ying come out and ask for it if Yang Kai didn't agree, but he didn't expect there is no need for such trouble. Mo Yu had a deep understanding of Yang Kai's boldness. After all, this kind of thing could not be easily decided. The other party agreed to it all at once. In all likelihood, it was because of the face of Shen Shidao and Lu Ying. Although the aptitude of these two disciples are not top-notch, they are lucky. They could make a good friend. Mo Yu was so relieved and naturally thanked them. As for Yang Kai, he said that he should stay in High Heaven sect for a while, but he will not take it seriously. This is indeed a scene that the other's old man could not see or hear. The High Heaven sect has just been established, and the internal affairs must be dealt with first. It is already a great joy to get Yang Kai's promise to let him go to Emperor Garden through here. How can he stay brazenly to disturb him? Well, Elder Qian, the people in the Shadow Moon Palace can also enter the Emperor's Garden from my High Heaven sect. Yang Kai turned to look at Qian Tong again. In that case, the old man will thank you first. Qian Tong smiled. He will not be polite. Yang Kai agreed that Clean Sky sect could enter the Emperor's Garden from here, and naturally would not leave his Shadow Moon Palace. Qian Tong knew this well. "Girl Dai Yuan, if you are interested, you can enter from here too." Yang Kai raised his eyes to look at Dai Yuan at the back, but the others, people of Colored Glass sect, could forget about it. Although Yang Kai treats his friends well, and he is not a bad person, allowing the people present to enter the Emperor's Garden from the High Heaven sect is also due to personal friendship. It does not mean that Colored Glass sect can do the same. He didn't have any friendship with other people in Colored Glass sect, and even had a lot of grievances with Yin Sudi. Dai Yuan's face darkened, and she smiled bitterly. Dai Yuan first thanked junior brother Yang for his kindness, but I probably didn't have a chance to enter the Emperor Garden. Yang Kai frowned, but soon wondered why she said that. In Colored Glass sect, Dai Yuan is not a favorite. If there are really younger generations of disciples who are eligible to enter the Emperor Garden, it is probably Yin Sudi, not Dai Yuan. After all, the number of people who can enter is too small and precious. Qian Tong smiled, and said with deep meaning, "Dai Yuan, don't be humble. If it was before, I think you really have no chance to enter the Emperor Garden, but now..." The old man can't guarantee much, but there is a 70% chance, as long as the old fellow Gong Xing is not too silly. Dai Yuan's eyes lit up and she glanced at Qian Tong in surprise, as if she didn't understand why he said that. But she was not a woman with big breasts and no brains. She was very smart, and her mind flashed. Everything is clear. Indeed, if it were before, she would never have the chance to enter the Emperor Garden, but now, in the entire Colored Glass sect, only she has a good relationship with Yang Kai, and can even be said to be very good. If Colored Glass sect really wanted to use Yang Kai means to enter the Emperor Garden, they would definitely not treat Dai Yuan too badly. Will Colored Glass sect have to rely on Yang Kai's place? The answer is obviously yes. Not to mention the location of entering the Emperor Garden from High Heaven sect is the best place to go. There is even the Void King Great Warship. The Colored Glass sect master Gong Xing can't ignore it. He is also a master at the top of the Third Order Void Return stage. He also want to break through to the Void King realm. But to break through the Void King realm, he must leave the Shadowed Star and get rid of the shackles of the laws of heaven and earth here. Boarding the Void King Great Warship is the only option. As a result, Gongxing must have the intention to make friends with Yang Kai and High Heaven sect, and Dai Yuan would have the opportunity to be assigned with the Emperor Jade, thus obtaining an entry quota. Thinking of this, Dai Yuan couldn't help getting excited. Her beautiful eyes looked at Yang Kai with full gratitude. Although the matter has not yet been determined, it is possible for her to enter the Emperor Garden because of Yang Kai's existence. When a person's abilities and resources reach a certain level, the destiny of others can be subtly affected in places that are visible and invisible. Dai Yuan didn't think there was anything about this kind of thing before, but it was only after experiencing it personally today that she knew it was so incredible. In an instant, Dai Yuan figured out the key to the matter. How could Yang Kai not understand? He grinned. Girl Dai Yuan, you might as well say to the senior in your sect after you go back. If Colored Glass sect is led by you, this sect master might not mind letting the other people from Colored Glass sect to set off from my sect to enter the Emperor Garden. As soon as he said this, Dai Yuan's delicate body immediately trembled, biting her thin lip, as if she didn't know what to say, but the gratitude in her eyes overflowed, and anyone could see it clearly. Yang Kai's words were tantamount to forcibly grabbing a spot from Colored Glass sect for her. This condition sounds a little overbearing, but Colored Glass sect will make a wise choice after thinking about it for a while. After all, Dai Yuan is also a member of Colored Glass sect. If she can gain benefits in the Emperor Garden, she will also increase the strength of Colored Glass sect. Taking a deep breath and slowly getting up, Dai Yuan bowed to Yang Kai. Although she didn't say anything, it was already enough. Qiantong and others looked at it with a smile, and the smile was very intriguing. In fact, the few old guys don't quite understand why a young man like Yang Kai cares so much about a woman like Dai Yuan. The little girl is not pretty. Not beautiful is a tactful way of saying Dai Yuan's face can be said to be very ugly. However, because of this, several people's evaluation of Yang Kai has been improved. This kid is obviously not a guy who judges people by appearance, and could be regarded as emphasizing love and justice. After Dai Yuan took her seat with excitement, Yang Kai's eyes rolled and thought of a good idea. Seniors, if you can, you might as well do the younger generation a favor. Oh. Qiantong looked at Yang Kai with a look of surprise. You kid is already above the sky. Where else can we help? Even so, we will listen to if the old man and the others just happen to want to repay you some favor. Fei Jitu and Mo Yu also nodded in agreement, looking at him curiously. With a treacherous smile on his face, Yang Kai whispered a few words to everyone. Qiantong and others listened, looked at each other. His expression immediately became exciting. Qiantong smiled bitterly. You guys are really good at scheming. If this news is released, I'm afraid that you will definitely get what you want immediately. Yes, High Heaven sect now occupies this great geographical advantage. You can even use this. It would be a shame not to go into business. Fei Jitu scorned. Relying on the mountain to eat the mountain, relying on the water to draft water, the seniors should not make fun of the younger ones. Yang Kai waved his hand quickly. Don't worry, after the old man and others leave here, I will definitely help you spread the news, and even if we don't say anything, those outsiders will probably ask questions. Presumably they are already a little impatient. Mo Yu chuckled lightly. Yang Kai looked shocked and couldn't help but look forward to it. There was only one message he asked Qiantong and others to send out. The High Heaven sect intends to open the Flowing Flame Sand Field, and sold a few blocks of good lots, so that the many sects of the Shadowed Star could enter the Emperor's Garden in advance on the day when the Emperor's Gate opened. However, there are only 3 places. As for the price, Yang Kai didn't say. It depends on which force bid the most. Depending on the location, the price is also different. The best location and the worst location are at least 3 or 4 hours away from the Emperor Garden. If anyone could come up with a piece of Emperor Jade, it would not be impossible for his sect disciples to set off from the square of the front hall of the High Heaven sect. Yang Kai currently only has 2 Imperial Jade in his hand, but according to previous estimation, High Heaven sect needs at least 3 Emperor Jade to meet the demand. He and Yang Yan will definitely enter it, and Yi Xian will not fall behind. With Fur, the strongest of them all, the safety factor will increase a lot. With a piece of Emperor Jade missing, Jiang Kai was still a little bit troubled, but now with a thought he should be able to solve this problem. Departing from the square of the front hall of the High Heaven sect to enter the Emperor Garden, this temptation is not small, and the loss of a piece of Emperor Jade is not unacceptable. Qian Tong and others praised this proposal, but they remind Yang Kai slightly, and be careful when giving others the chance. Yang Kai naturally nodded and said yes, since he made such a decision, there will be no mistakes, and then let Yang Yan set up formations in those areas, not let them walk around at will, and then monitor it. If anyone dares to break away from those demarcated lots, there is no mercy. This problem is not difficult to solve. Subsequently, Yang Kai politely asked Qian Tong and others about the promotion of Void Return stage. Qian Tong and others naturally say everything they knew, and Yang Kai benefited a lot. In particular, the opinions of Wei Gucheng and Dong Xuanair made Yang Kai even more educated. They have only been promoted to Void Return stage. Many things and experiences were freshly baked. Although the experience and insights taught are not as good as Qian Tong and others, there are also some merits in it. Dai Yuan also listened very seriously. She is the same as Yang Kai, both in the Third Order Saint King stage. After returning this time, she would enter retreat and attack for the Void Return stage realm. The congealing void pill that Yang Kai refined for her is still well preserved. After a full half a day, Yang Kai got up and sent the people out of the welcome hall. Outside, there was Wu Yi, who utilized the Flying Shark battle shuttle to escort them out of Flowing Flame Sand Field. Sitting in the welcome hall, Yang Kai pondered for a while, then took out the communication compass and poured his spiritual mind into it and called for a few times. After a while, Yang Yan arrived. When Yang Kai told her about his idea of selling the lot, Yang Yan also nodded in praise, and immediately decided to start preparations. After all, once the news spreads, it will definitely cause countless forces to compete for it. To be continued.